Keywords: sunny, hot, and humid. That's going to be the theme over the next 3 days as we get ready for a hot and humid air mass that in some cases will be very dangerous. How dangerous? All right, it is currently 89 degrees, almost 90 degrees here in Freehold at 8:40, 8:50 a.m. in the morning. And the heat index, that's a combination of heat and humidity, is already at 106 degrees. That's how it feels on your body, right? And it's only just before 9 a.m. That is why there is some significant concern with this heat and humidity. So, what do we have in place right now? Of course, yes, like, share, and subscribe. And of course, if you're interested in more detailed information, also the tropics, definitely check out the Premium Consulting membership, only $15 a month. So, of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino, CDM number 9. But let's get to the important part here, and that is these temperatures. Currently, right now, this morning, we have temperatures in the upper 70s to mid 80s along the coast here. Mid 80s to upper 80s on the I-95 corridor. Over the interior, upper 70s to lower 80s. Notice the dew points are in the 70s. So this high level of humidity is what is driving our heat index this morning. By this afternoon, it'll be the combination of temperatures approaching 100 degrees on the I-95 corridor, somewhere between 96 and 99 degrees for most locations, but an occasional 100-degree temperature will show up there. But you still have the humidity. You still have dew points in the 70s. So that is going to lead to a heat index pushing well into the hundreds. And being exposed to this heat is a real concern. Now, one thing that's going to be very interesting to watch here is that you see this trough out here. Well, that's because the water out here is cooler and more dense. And what we're going to have to watch out here for with these very light winds around 1 to 5 miles per hour is the potential for a sea breeze front right on the immediate coast. And what we'll look for is some cumulus trying to form right on the immediate coast, which could lead to a rogue thunderstorm or two. And with the winds being so light at the lower levels, mid levels, and upper levels, well, that could also mean that thunderstorms really don't move all that much, which can lead to the potential for some localized flash flooding. The keyword there, though, is isolated. Most locations will not see that, but I wanted to mention it because that can be a threat over the next couple of days. So we'll have to watch out for rogue thunderstorms to the north of us and along the coast that could actually short circuit the high temperature forecast, much like yesterday where I was staying in the upper 80s to lower 90s for most of the region for highs. Mild guidance was in the mid to upper 90s, but we saw the thunderstorms, so we adjusted, right? So this is the observations right now. We have high pressure here in control. This stationary front with this maritime air mass, this is what we're going to have to watch out for thunderstorms to the north, because what can happen is that you can get a thunderstorm sparked off this stationary front. It produces an outflow boundary, which sets up another thunderstorm. Outflow boundary is like a little mini cold front, right? So that drops out. So it's something to keep an eye out for Connecticut. Again, isolated, right? And then along the immediate coast, we'll watch out for that very carefully. Let me pull up the visible satellite picture, and what we're going to be watching for here, this is a new one, just got updated, is to watch to see if there's any cumulus that formed right on the immediate coast. Again, you can see plenty of sunshine in place right now. We'll have to watch out for a little bit of those cumulus fields right in here and right on here as we move on through the afternoon, see if a thunderstorm actually is able to spark. But other than that, when you take a look at the infrared satellite picture, it is quiet all the way back into the upper Midwest. Not much going on. Pretty quiet, setting up the main story being the heat and humidity over the next couple of days. But this will not last for long because we're going to have this trough here that's going to drop through Canada and into New England. And that's going to force a cold front through our neck of the woods by Thursday. And unfortunately, potential for widespread thunderstorms, but an end to the heat and humidity for a short period of time. In fact, Friday is looking relatively cool. How about 70s? So about a 20-degree drop in temperatures for a day or so. So let's dive into this forecast. So let's see here. Here we are for today. Again, there's that signal here that we have to watch out for the isolated thunderstorm threat. Okay, so we'll watch this very carefully, see if anything pops up, anything right on the immediate coast. Other than that, hazy, hot, and humid, high temperatures in the lower to mid 90s over the interior, upper 80s to lower 90s on the South Shore of Long Island. Other than that, lower to mid 90s everywhere else. Mid to upper 90s on the I-95 corridor. A rogue 100 here and there is possible, like in Philadelphia or Newark, right in your urban areas where you have that urban heat island effect. But the key word here is heat index. The heat index is going to be over 100 in all of these locations, so definitely use caution. Heck, it's already over 100 now. Now it is currently feeling like in Freehold at 9 a.m., 107 degrees with a temperature of 90. So there you go. I mean, if that doesn't tell you it's going to be a hot day, I don't know what does. So for tonight into tomorrow morning, look for scattered cloud cover, maybe in a few areas of patchy fog here with all this humidity. But for the most part, scattered cloud cover with low temperatures in the lower to mid 70s over the interior, mid to upper 70s in your suburbs, and upper 70s to lower 80s in your urban areas. And tomorrow afternoon, rinse and repeat, hazy, hot, and humid, same dangerous temperatures, same potential for an isolated thunderstorm here and there. Look for high temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 90s over the northern interior, mid to upper 90s everywhere else. Again, a few 100s are possible here and there on the I-95 corridor, Philadelphia, Newark, in your urban heat island areas. So we'll watch that very carefully. But the main story will be the heat index pushing well over 100 degrees. And on Wednesday, rinse and repeat, but a slight difference. There will be a cold front that's going to start to press south. And by the evening, that will produce more of about a 60% chance of thunderstorms developing around the region. So Wednesday afternoon, evening may be a little bit more active, but still hazy, hot, and humid. Look for low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 70s over the interior, mid to upper 70s in your suburbs, upper 70s to lower 80s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the mid 80s to lower 90s over the northern interior with a higher potential for those thunderstorms in the afternoon. But to the south of the interior, let's say from the I-95 corridor down through the coast, your high temperatures will range from the mid to upper 90s, a few 100s sprinkled in around the urban areas with a heat index well over 100 degrees. Now, on Thursday, the cold front sinks south, and that is going to open up the potential for more widespread showers and thunderstorms, steamy conditions still. The high temperatures will be dependent on when this cold front actually moves through and the development of the showers and thunderstorms. So this might end up being a bit cooler, but I'll show you an example. Low temperatures throughout the region will remain steamy. Upper 60s to lower 70s over the northern interior, mid to upper 70s in your suburbs, upper 70s to lower 80s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the mid 80s to lower 90s over the northern interior. Lower to mid 90s on the immediate coast, and mid to upper 90s on the I-95 corridor. Now, if this cold front drops through faster, those 80-degree temperatures that are over the interior could bleed into the I-95 corridor and along the coast. So we'll watch that very carefully, but still a steamy day with an enhanced heat index around 100 degrees. On Friday, we get our relief. Well, unless you like hot and humid weather. A stationary front will drop south as a backdoor cold front and produce cloudy skies with widely scattered showers. Much cooler, with low temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 60s and high temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 70s, about a 20-degree drop. On Saturday and Sunday, the stationary front will hang around the region, producing variable cloud cover and a few isolated to widely scattered showers. Look for low temperatures on Saturday or Sunday, ranging from the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior, upper 60s to lower 70s in the suburbs, and lower to mid 70s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the upper 70s to lower 80s over the northern interior, upper 70s to lower 80s along the coast, and mid to upper 80s on the I-95 corridor. So a bit unsettled, but also more seasonable temperatures, 80s. You expect that during this time of year. On Monday, that stationary front continues to linger around the region with more of an easterly wind component due to high pressure over the Gulf of Maine. That's going to lead to scattered cloud cover. Again, you can't rule out an isolated shower here and there. Look for low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 60s over the northern interior, mid to upper 60s in your suburbs, upper 60s to lower 70s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the mid 70s to lower 80s on Long Island, mid to upper 80s along the coast, mid to upper 80s over the interior, and upper 80s to lower 90s on the I-95 corridor, with a little bit more humidity pushing your heat index, let's say, to the mid 90s. That is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.